I am about to show you exactly how to protect your health and stop fueling abnormal cell growth by removing 5 specific foods from your daily routine after the age of 60. So many older adults struggle with declining energy and a feeling that their bodies are becoming more vulnerable, often wondering if a serious diagnosis is just an unavoidable consequence of getting older. You might be uncertain if your current diet is actually protecting you or if you are unknowingly providing the very fuel that unhealthy cells need to thrive. But I have seen how quickly cellular vitality returns when you stop consuming these toxic triggers. I remember a woman named Evelyn who was 71 and felt constantly sluggish and worried about her family's history of chronic illness. Her mistake was relying on quick, processed meals and sugary snacks because they were convenient and familiar in her kitchen. Her doctor might have been telling her that her blood markers were fine for her age, but that is often incomplete advice that ignores the long-term impact of inflammatory foods on a senior's immune system. By simply removing these 5 items, Evelyn noticed her digestion cleared up and her mental clarity returned within just a few short weeks. 1. Processed meats like deli slices, hot dogs, and sausages. Removing these preserved meats from your diet stops the intake of harmful nitrates and chemical additives that can irritate and damage the delicate lining of your aging digestive system. I recall a man named Samuel, age 66, who ate a deli turkey sandwich every single day for lunch because he thought it was a lean and healthy choice. His mistake was consuming the hidden preservatives and high salt content found in pre-packaged lunch meats, which left him feeling bloated and physically heavy every afternoon. We corrected this by having him roast a fresh chicken breast on Sundays and slicing it thin for his sandwiches throughout the week instead. His energy levels stabilized significantly, and he found that the persistent discomfort in his stomach vanished almost immediately after making the switch to fresh, unpreserved protein. The primary concern with processed meats for seniors is the way these products are cured and kept shelf-stable for long periods in the grocery store. Manufacturers often use specific chemicals called nitrates and nitrites to keep the meat looking pink and to prevent bacteria from growing while it sits in plastic packaging. While these chemicals are effective for preservation, once they enter your body, they can transform into compounds that are known to irritate the cells in your colon and stomach. For an older body, where the natural repair mechanisms are slightly slower than they used to be, this constant chemical irritation can create an environment where abnormal cells find it much easier to grow. Furthermore, these meats are often injected with massive amounts of sodium and artificial flavorings to make up for the low quality of the meat being used. This excess salt puts an unnecessary strain on your heart and kidneys, further weakening your body's ability to maintain a strong and active immune defense against illness. When you walk down the meat aisle at your local supermarket, it is very easy to be misled by labels that claim a product is low-fat or heart-healthy simply because it is made from turkey or chicken. The reality is that if the meat has been ground up, shaped into a link, or sliced into perfectly uniform circles for a package, it has likely undergone heavy processing. This processing strips away the natural nutrients and replaces them with fillers and stabilizers that your body does not know how to process efficiently. For a person over 60, the goal is to keep the digestive system as clean and efficient as possible so that the body can focus its energy on cellular repair rather than filtering out industrial additives. Every time you choose a processed meat over a fresh piece of protein, you are essentially asking your liver and kidneys to work overtime to handle chemicals that have no place in a human diet. Over many years, this cumulative stress can lead to the very type of cellular breakdown that we are trying to avoid as we age. Refined sugars found in white breads, pastries, and clear sodas. Eliminating these rapid-burning sugars prevents the sudden glucose spikes that provide an easy, high-energy fuel source for abnormal cells, while also reducing systemic inflammation. I remember a woman named Betty, who was 74 and loved starting her day with a piece of white toast and a sweet pastry from the local bakery. Her mistake was flooding her system with refined carbohydrates and sugar every morning, which caused her energy to crash by noon and kept her body in a state of constant hidden inflammation. We corrected this by replacing her morning pastry with a bowl of slow-cooked oats topped with fresh blueberries and a sprinkle of cinnamon. She was amazed to find that her afternoon brain fog disappeared and the nagging aches in her joints began to fade within just 10 days of removing the refined sugar. Refined sugars are particularly dangerous for seniors because they act like high-octane fuel for cells that are not functioning correctly within the body. While every cell in your body uses glucose for energy, abnormal or unhealthy cells are often much less efficient and require vast amounts of sugar to continue their rapid and uncontrolled growth. When you consume white bread, sugary cereals, or sweet drinks, your blood sugar levels skyrocket almost instantly, providing these hungry cells with exactly what they need to thrive and multiply. Furthermore, these sugar spikes trigger your body to release large amounts of insulin, a hormone that, in high levels, can actually signal cells to grow and divide more quickly. By keeping your blood sugar stable and avoiding these refined sweets, you are essentially starving any potential threats and giving your healthy cells a much better environment in which to function. In addition to feeding unhealthy cells, refined sugar is one of the primary drivers of chronic inflammation throughout the entire human body. As we get older, our bodies naturally become more prone to inflammation, which can feel like stiff fingers in the morning, a sore lower back, or a general feeling of being puffed up and tired. Sugar exacerbates this process by triggering the release of inflammatory chemicals that circulate in your blood and can damage the DNA inside your healthy cells over time. When your DNA is damaged and your body is preoccupied with managing constant inflammation, the risk of cellular errors occurring during normal cell division increases significantly. This is why many experts refer to sugar as a pro-aging food that accelerates the breakdown of the very systems that are supposed to keep us vibrant and independent. Removing this one ingredient is like taking a heavy weight off your immune system's shoulders, allowing it to do its job much more effectively. To begin removing refined sugar from your life, you must become a bit of a detective when you are walking through the aisles of your local grocery store. Sugar is hidden in almost everything that comes in a box or a jar, including things that don't even taste sweet like pasta sauces, salad dressings, and even some brands of healthy yogurt. Look for words like high fructose corn syrup, sucrose, or maltodextrin on the label, and try to choose products that have 0 grams of added sugar whenever possible. A great first step is to swap out all white breads and white pastas for whole grain versions like rye, spelt, or brown rice pasta, which digest much more slowly and don't cause the same dangerous blood sugar spikes. If you have a habit of drinking sodas or sweetened fruit juices, try replacing them with plain sparkling water flavored with a squeeze of fresh lime or a few crushed mint leaves for a refreshing change. This habit of choosing slow-burning foods ensures your body remains an inhospitable environment for unhealthy cell growth. 3. Hydrogenated vegetable oils and margarines. Replacing these industrially processed fats with natural oils protects the stability of your cell membranes and prevents the chronic inflammation that can lead to cellular damage. I recall a man named Harold, aged 68, who used a thick layer of margarine on his crackers and cooked all of his evening vegetables in corn oil because he thought it was better for his cholesterol. His mistake was consuming trans fats and highly processed vegetable oils that were actually damaging the outer walls of his cells and causing his blood vessels to become stiff and irritated. We corrected this by having him throw away the margarine and switch to using extra virgin olive oil for his cooking and a small amount of grass-fed butter for flavor. Within a few months, his skin looked much healthier, his heart health markers improved, and he reported feeling much less rusty when he got out of bed in the morning. The fats you eat are the primary building blocks that your body uses to create the outer walls or membranes of every single cell in your brain, heart, and muscles. When you eat natural fats like those found in olives or avocados, your cell membranes become flexible, strong, and very efficient at letting nutrients in and moving waste products out. However, when you eat hydrogenated vegetable oils, which are liquid oils that have been chemically altered to stay solid at room temperature, your body is forced to use these fake fats to build your cell walls. These industrial fats make your cell membranes stiff, brittle, and much less effective at protecting the delicate DNA inside the cell from environmental damage. For a senior, having brittle cell membranes is a major risk factor for cellular errors, as it makes it much easier for toxins to enter the cell and disrupt its normal, healthy function. Beyond the structural damage to your cells, these processed vegetable oils are extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids, which can be highly inflammatory when they are not balanced by healthy omega-3 fats. Modern diets are often flooded with oils like soybean oil, cottonseed oil, and corn oil because they are very cheap for food companies to use in crackers, cookies, and fried snacks. When your body is overwhelmed by these processed oils, it stays in a state of high alert inflammation, which acts like a slow-moving fire that gradually erodes your health from the inside out. This chronic inflammation is the perfect breeding ground for abnormal cells, as it creates an environment where the body's natural search and destroy immune cells are too distracted to find and eliminate threats. Switching to natural, cold-pressed oils is one of the most effective ways to put out the fire and restore a sense of calm and stability to your internal cellular environment. To clean up the fats in your kitchen, the first and most important step is to look for any tubs of margarine or vegetable spreads in your refrigerator and replace them with a small amount of real, high-quality butter or a jar of organic coconut oil. While we were told for years that margarine was a healthier choice, we now know that the chemical processing required to make it is far more damaging to the human body than natural fats. Next, check the ingredients on any store-bought baked goods like cookies, muffins, or crackers, and avoid any that list partially hydrogenated oil or shortening on the label. These are the most dangerous types of fats for older adults and should be avoided entirely to protect your cardiovascular and cellular health. When you are cooking at home, keep a bottle of extra virgin olive oil in a dark, cool cupboard and use it for almost everything, from drizzling over roasted vegetables to making your own simple salad dressings. Using natural, clean fats ensures your cells are built with the strongest possible defenses against daily wear and tear. 4. Stop consuming artificially sweetened diet foods and zero-calorie chemical sweeteners. Replacing chemical sugar substitutes with small amounts of natural options helps to maintain a healthy balance in your gut and prevents your immune system from becoming distracted by artificial additives. I remember a woman named Alice who was 69 years old and drank 3 diet sodas every day because she wanted to avoid the calories of regular sugar. Her mistake was believing that these chemical sweeteners were a free alternative, but they were actually causing her severe bloating and making her feel physically exhausted every evening. We corrected this by having her switch to plain sparkling water with a fresh squeeze of lemon or lime for flavor instead of the chemical drinks. Within 2 weeks, her digestion improved remarkably, and she found that she was no longer experiencing the strange, sudden mood swings that had been bothering her. Many seniors are drawn to diet or sugar-free products because they are trying to manage their weight or monitor their blood sugar levels, which is a very noble goal. However, these products often contain laboratory-created chemicals that your body does not recognize as actual food, which can cause significant confusion within your internal systems. Your digestive tract is home to a vast community of beneficial bacteria that act as the front line of your immune system, helping your body identify and eliminate unhealthy cells before they can grow. When you consume artificial sweeteners, you can inadvertently disrupt this delicate internal balance, making it much harder for your immune system to stay alert and protective. For an older adult, maintaining a strong and healthy gut environment is one of the most important defenses you have against cellular errors and chronic health problems. In addition to the impact on your gut, these artificial sweeteners can sometimes trick your brain into thinking it is receiving energy, only to be disappointed when no real calories arrive. This metabolic confusion can lead to increased cravings for other unhealthy foods and can even affect how your body handles its natural insulin levels over time. When your body is constantly trying to process foreign chemicals, it has less energy and focus available for the vital work of repairing your tissues and maintaining your physical strength. It is much better for a senior to consume very small amounts of real, natural honey or maple syrup on rare occasions than to consume large amounts of chemical substitutes every day. By removing these artificial triggers, you allow your body to return to a state of natural balance where your immune cells can function with much greater precision and clarity. To begin removing these chemical sweeteners from your life, you should start by checking the labels of any light or zero products currently sitting in your kitchen cabinets. Look for ingredients like aspartame, sucralose, saccharin, or acesulfame potassium, which are common chemicals used to provide a sweet taste without the calories. If you see these on a package of yogurt, a bottle of salad dressing, or a box of cereal, it is best to finish what you have and resolve not to buy that specific brand again. Instead, look for products that are unsweetened or that use small amounts of natural stevia leaf or monk fruit, which are plant-based and generally much gentler on the senior digestive system. You will find that as you stop eating these intense artificial flavors, your natural sense of taste will become much sharper and more appreciative of subtle, healthy flavors. If you find it difficult to give up your daily soda or sweet tea, try creating a transition drink that provides the fizz and flavor you enjoy without the chemical burden. You can take a tall glass of cold water, add a few splashes of pure, unsweetened cranberry juice, and top it off with a bit of carbonated mineral water for a refreshing and healthy treat. This provides your body with beneficial antioxidants while completely bypassing the harmful artificial additives found in commercial diet drinks. Over time, you can reduce the amount of juice until you are simply enjoying the clean, hydrating taste of water with a little bit of fresh fruit. Making this change is a powerful way to ensure that your internal defense team stays strong and capable of protecting your health for many years to come. This simple shift away from chemicals ensures your immune system stays focused on protecting your healthy cells. 5. Avoid eating meats that have been charred or heavily burnt during high-heat grilling. Choosing gentler cooking methods for your proteins prevents the formation of harmful compounds that can damage your cellular health when consumed over a long period. I recall a man named Frank, aged 75, who loved to grill his steaks and burgers over a very high flame until the outside of the meat was blackened and crispy. His mistake was consuming the charred, burnt portions of the meat every weekend, which frequently left him with an upset stomach and a heavy, sluggish feeling that lasted for days. We corrected this by having him marinate his meat in lemon juice and herbs before cooking it over a much lower, more consistent heat to avoid any charring. His digestion improved almost overnight, and he found that he could enjoy his favorite meals without the lingering discomfort or the worry of internal irritation. When meat is cooked at extremely high temperatures, such as over an open flame or on a very hot metal grate, the natural proteins and fats in the meat can undergo a chemical change. This change creates specific substances that are known to be irritating to the human digestive system and can cause stress to the DNA inside your healthy cells. For seniors, whose bodies are already working hard to manage the natural effects of aging, adding these combustion chemicals to your diet creates an unnecessary burden that can interfere with normal cellular repair. The black charred bits on the outside of a grilled piece of meat may have a strong flavor, but they provide no nutritional value and act as a source of internal stress for your organs. By opting for gentler heat, you preserve the healthy protein your muscles need while completely avoiding the toxic byproducts of high heat burning. It is also important to remember that when fat from the meat drips onto a hot flame or coal, it creates smoke that rises back up and coats the food in even more chemical residues. This is why meat cooked over a traditional charcoal grill often has a much higher concentration of these irritants than meat cooked in a controlled oven or on a stovetop. As an older adult, your liver and kidneys are the primary filters for these types of environmental toxins, and keeping their workload light is essential for maintaining your overall vitality. When you choose to bake, poach, or slow roast your meats, you are providing your body with a much cleaner source of energy that doesn't require nearly as much effort to process. Gentle cooking also helps to keep the meat moist and easy to chew, which is a significant benefit for many seniors who find very dry, well-done meat difficult to digest. To implement this change in your own kitchen, try to move your cooking away from the high-heat grill and toward your oven or a heavy-bottom pan used on a medium setting. If you do choose to use a grill, make sure the flames are low and that the meat is positioned further away from the heat source to prevent any blackening of the surface. A very effective tip is to marinate your chicken or beef in a mixture of olive oil, lemon juice, and fresh herbs like rosemary or garlic for at least 30 minutes before you start cooking. Studies have shown that this simple liquid barrier can significantly reduce the formation of harmful compounds by keeping the meat hydrated and protected from the direct heat. You should also use a pair of tongs to turn your meat frequently, which ensures it cooks evenly through the center without the outside becoming overcooked or burnt. If you find that a piece of meat has become accidentally charred or blackened during the cooking process, the healthiest choice is to simply use a knife to trim away those dark bits before you eat. You can still enjoy the tender, flavorful meat underneath while leaving the harmful chemical byproducts on the side of your plate. This small act of caution significantly reduces the daily toxic load on your body and allows you to enjoy your protein with much more peace of mind. Embracing slow cooking methods, like using a crock pot or a Dutch oven, is another fantastic way to create delicious, falling apart tender meals that are completely free of high heat damage. These methods allow the flavors to develop over several hours at a very safe temperature, making your dinner both more nutritious and much easier for your body to handle. This careful approach to cooking ensures your protein sources remain a tool for health rather than a source of cellular stress. 6. Limit the use of canned soups and meals that use chemical-lined packaging. Transitioning toward fresh or frozen alternatives helps to protect your hormonal balance and reduces the intake of industrial chemicals that can leach into your food. I worked with a woman named Martha, who was 70 years old and ate a bowl of canned vegetable soup every single day because it was quick and easy to prepare. Her mistake was unknowingly consuming the chemicals that line the inside of the metal cans, which left her feeling strangely fatigued and caused her skin to become unusually dry and itchy. We corrected this by having her spend one afternoon a week making a large pot of fresh soup using frozen vegetables and storing it in glass containers for her daily lunches. Her energy levels improved significantly within 3 weeks, and her skin regained its natural moisture and health once she removed the canned food from her routine. Many canned food manufacturers use a thin plastic lining on the inside of their metal cans to prevent the food from reacting with the metal and to extend its shelf life. This lining often contains chemicals that can slowly leach out of the plastic and into the food, especially if the food is acidic like tomato soup or canned fruit. When these chemicals enter an older body, they can sometimes mimic natural hormones, causing a disruption in the delicate balance that regulates your energy, your sleep, and your immune function. For a senior, maintaining a stable hormonal environment is crucial for keeping your cells functioning correctly and for preventing the growth of abnormal tissues. By choosing fresh or frozen foods instead of canned ones, you are providing your body with a much cleaner fuel source that doesn't come with a hidden chemical cost. Furthermore, canned soups and meals are almost always loaded with extremely high levels of sodium to act as a preservative and to enhance the flavor after months of sitting on a shelf. This excess salt can lead to high blood pressure, fluid retention in your legs, and a general feeling of physical heaviness that makes it harder to stay active during the day. Freshly prepared food, on the other hand, allows you to control exactly what goes into your meal, ensuring you get the maximum amount of vitamins and minerals without the unwanted additives. Frozen vegetables are a particularly excellent choice for seniors because they are often picked and frozen at the peak of their freshness, preserving their nutritional value far better than many fresh vegetables that have traveled for weeks in a truck. Using these as a base for your meals is a fast, easy, and much safer alternative to opening a tin can every day. To make the switch away from canned goods, start by identifying the 2 or 3 items you buy most frequently in a can and look for their frozen or fresh counterparts during your next grocery trip. Instead of buying canned beans, you can purchase a bag of dried beans, soak them overnight, and boil them in a large batch to freeze in smaller portions for later use. For soups and stews, try making a simple recipe using a low-sodium broth, some frozen mixed vegetables, and a piece of fresh chicken or fish. You can cook a large amount at once and store it in the refrigerator for up to 4 days or in the freezer for several months, providing you with the same convenience as a can, but with much higher quality nutrition. When you do occasionally use canned food, try to look for brands that specifically state they are BPA-free on the label, which indicates they are using a slightly safer lining material. Another simple habit is to transfer any leftover food out of a metal can and into a glass or ceramic container as soon as you open it, rather than storing the open can in your refrigerator. This stops the leaching process from continuing while the food is being stored, providing at least some small measure of protection for your health. However, the best goal for any senior over 60 is to move toward a whole food diet where the majority of your meals come from things that don't require a label at all, like fresh fruit, vegetables, and unpreserved meats. Your body is incredibly resilient and will thank you for providing it with the clean, natural materials it needs to maintain its strength and vitality into your 80s and 90s. Making these small changes to your kitchen habits today is one of the most powerful steps you can take to protect your cellular integrity for the future. This move toward fresh packaging ensures your body is fueled by pure nutrition without any hidden industrial residues. If you know someone over 50 who could benefit from this, share this video and subscribe for more simple health tips.